Hey, what is going on, guys? It's John back with another video. And in today's video, what I want to do is just take a moment to show you guys a couple of things that you can do to kind of embellish, change up your chord progressions a little bit when you're playing the same chord progression over and over again. There's different ways that you can reharmonize and make it sound different without actually killing the structure of the song. So let's go on ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so let's say, for instance, that you have a chord progression. Let's say, for instance, you're in the key of E, all right? And you're doing a 1, a 4, 6, 5, okay? There might be a moment during worship or during the chorus where you're just kind of on it, all right? Okay. And there might be some moments where you really kind of want to take it somewhere, but you're not quite sure, because if you change the chord progression, you might throw the singers off, or somebody might not understand what you're doing and it might throw everything off. So here are some tips that you guys can use that will help you to be able to create a spontaneous moment where you guys aren't completely messing the singers up, but you're also pushing the music, you're pushing the envelope a little bit and taking it to that higher level. Okay. And the first thing that I want you guys to understand is slash chords. Okay. So slash chords don't just give us a different sound, they give us a different inversion altogether. Okay. So anywhere where you see a 1 chord, you can be rest assured that you should be able to replace that with a 1/3. Okay. So anywhere, like I said, everywhere where you see a 1, you can change that to a 1/3. Okay. It should not change up the harmony too much or the melody of what's going on, especially if it's played in the right spot. Okay. And the only thing that we're doing is taking those notes and rearranging them so that E flat is on the, I'm sorry, not E flat. In this case, it would be G sharp. Let me change this here so that way we're a little bit more accurate. Let's go to sharps. Beautiful. So now this should be a G sharp, E over G sharp. That's what I want. Okay. So as long as we have this combination of notes, it still can be used as a 1 chord. Now, of course, it's going to have a different sound because this sounds different from this, but the two are related in a way. Okay. In the same fashion, on the 6, and I believe I've shared this in a different video before, but on the 6, you can get away with playing a 4/6, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be A major over 6. You can get away with playing that. Okay. You can also get away with playing 1/5 to the 5. All right. So that chord progression, that 1, 4, 6, 5. You can do 3, 4/6, 1/5, 5, right? So instead of just playing the same old, change it up. I can do a 4/6, 5/7, 1/5, 5. Okay, that 2 that I used there, you can actually replace the 4 chord with a 2. So now instead of doing a 1, 4, 6, 5, I can do a 3, 2, 4/6, 5/7. All right, and I'm smiling because I'm hearing the sound and it's doing something to me. But 1, 4, 6. Let's do it one more time so you can hear it. 1, 4, 6, 5. Now we're going to build it up to the 3, 2, 4/6, 5/7. Okay. And just doing that small reharmonization, you don't want to do it for a long time, right? You don't want to do it, continually, but you want to do it in those short little moments where the drums are kicking in, the heavens are opening up, everybody's got their hands raised, and you're crashing out on it. You really want to save those moments is where you want to put those chords in, right? Because even though they work with the melody, you really want to kind of save those for those special moments, because when you go back to the normal chord progression, it makes that part special. Because if you stay there too long, now it just feels like, oh, well, that's the chord progression now. And we don't want that, right? We want to create impactful moments, right? So at some point, we do need to get back to playing 1, 4, 6, 5. But in those moments where maybe for 2, 3 bars or so, we can do that reharm version, right? Where we do that 1/3 to the 2, which is replacing the 4. We do that 4/6, and then that 5/7. We can do it 1/3, 4, 5, 4/6 to the 1/5, and we do 1/3 again to the 2, 4/6, 5/7, back to the 1/4, 6, 5. Okay. Those are some of the things that you could do as far as reharmonizing your different chord progressions. Okay. And remember, we're just taking advantage of all of the chords that are possible within that key. We haven't gone outside of the key of E yet. Okay. And just to review real quick before I move on to the next tip for you, we replaced the 1 chord with a 1/3. All right. We replaced our 4 chord with our 2 chord. Okay. Those two are related. You can replace those two and it should sound fine, okay? Remember, you always want to practice these things first if you're not 100% sure how it's going to sound. Personally, sometimes when I'm playing and we're in the moment and I'm leading the band, I already know what the going to the 2 chord is going to sound like. So even if we haven't practiced it, I'm confident in saying, hey, we're going to go to the 2 right here, because I know what that's going to sound like. And eventually you will too. The more and more that you do this, you'll begin to hear these things as you're playing, and you'll have those spontaneous moments where you're like, oh, I hear a 2 coming up. Let's go to the 2. And you won't be hesitant because you're not sure of what it's going to sound like. You're going to know what it's going to sound like. Okay. So again, the 1 we can replace with 1/3. The 4 we can replace with a 2. With the 6, we're not really doing much except making it a slash chord or making it a 4/6, which gives us a little bit of a different sound than your standard minor sound, right? There's your standard minor sound. Here's that 4/6. Sounds a little bit more intimate and more like a wanting sound, okay? And then you have 2 options for your 5 chord. You can do a 5/7, okay, which will lead you back to your 1, or you can do a 1/5 to lead you back to your 5. Okay, so those are some different reharmonizations that you can use. Okay, and when we talk about reharmonization, we're talking about keeping the essence of the melody and of the chord progression, but just using different chords that are related to the original chords. All right, when we talk about reharmonization during worship, we don't want to go crazy and like completely change the key without letting anybody know, modulate to a different key, play a completely different set of chords that don't even match with the melody. Like, that's not the kind of reharmonization that I'm talking about. Okay. When you get into some of the gospel stuff and some of those gospel casts, they get in and they change everything up, and they're at the level that where they can do it and make it sound good. Okay. And the singers know what to do with it. That's the other thing, is you want to make sure that your singers are comfortable with that. There are some singers that absolutely need to hear the basic chord progression or else it'll throw them off. Now, if that is you and your worship team, I'll tell you this in love, you guys need to get together and everybody needs to come together and you guys need to grow together, because the musicians need to be able to take the music to a certain place and the singers need to be able to jump with the musicians to those different places. It's not hard for you to learn. It's not hard for you to get, but it is something that you need to work on. And if you're going to be a part of a worship team, if you're going to be part of the worship ministry, you need to do everything in excellence, so we can't be stuck in our ways and just saying, oh, well, I'm just going to do it this way because I've always done it before. So if that is a problem for you, in love, I tell you, you guys get together with your team and you guys come together and you work on that. All right. Now, one of the other tips that I have for you guys, for my keyboard players, when the sound gets a little bit lower, and again, you're still in that same mode of playing that chord progression, what you can do is do the chord progression in your left hand, just using the bass notes, and just kind of drone a little arpeggio in your right hand, okay? Something kind of like this. I can even do my reharm version. Okay. And so what I'm doing here for that, and again, this will work in any key. All right. So I'm doing in the key of E, I'm doing a 7-1-5. Okay. Those of you who know some old school worship music, you'll know this. Okay. I can only imagine, right? That's a little move that they do there in that song. Okay. But I am just doing a 7-1-5. Okay. And I'm holding the other 5 down here, right? So there's my 2 B's, and right in between, I'm playing these 2 notes here. You can even do this. Let's move in, right? 7-1-5 low instead of doing a 7-1-5 high, right? Okay. And this is something that you can just play around with. And you don't necessarily have to play it in the same rhythm that I played it in. You can just kind of sporadically, just kind of play some notes, right? You don't have to be so robotic with it either. I'm just playing notes in the key of E. I'm not playing any chords in my right hand or my left hand. I'm just doing double fisted octave in my left hand, and I'm doing like 1 or 2 notes in my right hand. Simplicity is beautiful. That move right there that I just did, this right here. Okay, I explained part of this in a previous video, but I'll explain it again here. All right, so in my left hand, what I'm doing is intervals. I'm doing a perfect fifth to a major 6 to a major 7th to an octave and back down. Major 7th, major 6th, back to my perfect 5th. Now in my right hand, what I'm doing is I'm kind of starting on E flat and just moving up the scale and back down. So I want you guys to really pay attention in this area right here, okay? See how I moved up and back down? I'm just going to do one finger so you guys can see it. I'm moving with my left hand. And as you get comfortable, you can add more notes. We can do it up high. Remember your dynamics. I really like it down low, especially if you place off. You can add some swing to it. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's all that I have for you guys in this video today. If you found this video helpful, let me know down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you'd like to see next. If you guys really enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Otherwise, you guys get in the shed, have a blessed day, and get to work. Take it easy.